It's 5:30. We'll start this meeting of the City Council for Monday, June 5th. You guys are all ready to go. If you join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Please note that all members of the council are present. First item on the agenda would be to approve the agenda. We do have a addition, which is a resolution to file an application with the Minnesota Management and Budget. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the addition.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Councillor Buller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councillor Holden. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Next, we go to the approval of the minutes. We had a special committee of the whole meeting on May 15th. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that those minutes.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Councillor Kaler. We have a second by Councillor Fuller. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye. Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. And next we have minutes of May 15th, the regular city council meeting minutes. Chair would entertain a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion by Councillor Wagner. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councillor Kaler. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye. 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 Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. We'll go to the resolution for transfers, payments, and claims. We have a transfer to the 101 General Fund of $161.83. That's coming from the 812 Lodging Tax Fund. Accounts payable and claims, International Falls claims of $337,324.80. Airport commission claims of $39,342.93. Airport runway phase 2 or runway 2 project in the amount of $113,763.37. Airport runway part 3 project, $7,984. Airport annual capital project, $17,634.94. And airport major capital project, $35,760. For a total accounts payable and claims of $551,810.04. Chair would entertain a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Holden. And we have a second by Councillor Wagner. Discussion on the resolution. Hearing none, call the question.
Aye. 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 Aye.
And I will vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. We'll go to audience. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to bring anything forward to the council? There is not. There will also be an opportunity later in the meeting. We'll go to old business, which is a feasibility report for the paving of 5th Avenue West between 19th Street and 20th Street. Consider adoption of the resolution, receiving the feasibility study report, and calling a hearing on improvement for bituminous paving. Chair would entertain a motion for that resolution.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councillor Buller.
I'll second.
We have a second by Councillor Kaler. All right. City Administrator, when would it make sense for us to call that public hearing?
I'm going to defer to Jason, but I believe the hearing is tentatively set. We want it on July 3rd.
Yeah, we need time to get notices out.
3rd day of July. That's right there.
Do you realize we have a lot of stuff going on in International Falls on July 3rd?
I appreciate that.
All right.
That way there'll probably be more people here.
Yeah, we'll just call them in from across the street. Sounds like a great idea. We'll put the city council agenda on the 4th of July item of events. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Jason, anything? Ted, anything?
The one thing I did want to bring up is that since this is anticipated to be under the $175,000 threshold, we are just going to get quotes. We're not going to go out for bids. So, to advertise for bids. So, just wanted to mention that.
Sounds good. We have a motion and a second. I will call the question.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. We'll go to new business. Approve a resolution establishing Juneteenth as a city holiday. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make that
We
motion.
have a motion by Councillor Holden. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councillor Wagner. City Administrator, how does this affect us?
Access.
As you all are aware from the memo in your packet from HR, Sherry Stenslin, this was brought down through legislation. It is an official holiday recognized by the state and federal governments. Therefore, we cannot conduct any government business on that Monday, June 19th. This year it's on a Monday. It will follow June 19th every year. So every year it will be a holiday on June 19th. It will be a moving holiday. This year it happens to fall on our second council meeting in June. So we will have to address that after we look at adoption of accepting it as a holiday.
Excellent. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Any questions for the city administrator? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Next, consider use of Smoky Bear Park by Rainy Lake Medical Center Foundation for a Color 5K family run. Mickey Olson, if you'd like to please come forward.
We had a few requests from you that we would need to move this event forward. We'd like to use the back end of Smokey the Bear near the band shell backside. Registration will be at 1 o'clock for the runners, and it would begin at 2 o'clock. We did contact Mark Thorpe regarding the picnic, so we would be done and out of there before the picnic. We also did the route, and that should be with you. We sent that off to avoid the potholes and things that you were concerned about. And then also it would finish in that back end by Smokey the Bear. We would additionally like to request that a police officer lead the pack of participants, and we'll have multiple volunteers to make sure that all the runners are back safely.
Okay. Does anyone have any issues with that? I think I'd like to run that past the police. I don't see an issue with it in any capacity, but
previously they moved from not doing that. They'd have like somebody in a bike leading the race through, but that'd be something to talk to Mike about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll have that conversation. I mean, we can approve the race and the route today, and we'll just have that conversation with the police chief, and we'll be able to get back with you on that.
Okay. One other question. Did you want us to provide any type of insurance? There will be a disclaimer in any participants that sign up for the run.
I would have to lean towards our city administrator on that particular question.
Normally, when somebody does reserve and sign up to use the park, there is an insurance requirement. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you know what that is for how many?
It's $1 million policy, and we do have an option to use our League of Minnesota Cities for events like these.
Okay.
Or if your insurance would write a rider for it, that would work as well. But
Okay.
we can work that through an application.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Chair would entertain a motion to consider the 5K family run with the request that they had, and we will speak with the police chief and get back with them on that piece.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Councillor Taylor.
I'll second.
We have a second by Councillor Buller. Any additional discussion?
I just want to say thank you because this was a couple years ago when they had it, and it was so fun. I actually ran, but I won't do that ever again. Run in general. So it was a great event, and people loved it. And I think last time there were so many people that tried to show up the day of the event that they ran out of shirts and they ran out of stuff. So people were non-participant runners in that event because they had such a well turnout. So, so we have a motion and a second. Call the question.
Aye.
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 I will vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Mickey. Next, we have a commercial loan for Core Properties Limited Liability Company as submitted by Ryan Tamevi, True Star Federal Credit Union. Please come forward.
Mr. Mayor, this is Mr. Roman Korzinski.
Yep.
He is the applicant, not Ryan
Okay.
from True Star.
Okay. So, what are we doing?
So we're renovating the upstairs of Border Boost into usable apartments.
Okay. And then this is the city program, which is the $24,999
That
program.
is correct.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions on the project? I do.
I think it's good.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Tell us how many rooms ultimately it's going to be.
Yeah, so the front apartment has 2, and they're going to be 1 in each of the other ones.
Are they 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom?
2 1-bedroom, 1 2-bedroom, the one that's up front with the bay windows.
And then how would you have your parking? Not that I'm just questioning.
Yeah, so with that, at some point in the future, I would ask that we come to some kind of solution for permittable parking, that I could, print permits off for individuals, or they would, come up here and get those permits for the back, or some kind of process for doing that. Obviously off Main Street parking, in the back, because there's plenty of space there.
Yeah, and I know that falls under the city parking lot is directly behind where you're at. And I think that there's this conversation has happened a handful of times, and we've never came to any good solutions that work for snow removal for the businesses. But I think that is a conversation that I'm glad you're thinking about, and I think that's something that we could have additional conversations about.
I agree. There's actually a couple of us that have been trying to come up with a valid solution.
And it's even worse for the folks that live on the other side, the apartments that are on the other side of the street than yours, because there is not a city parking lot behind those.
Right.
So, okay, that's not what we're looking at today. Today we're looking at a commercial loan program. Is there any questions that you have for the business owner? Betty, do you have any concerns?
No concerns, Mayor and Council, just that in working with Mr. Korzinski and the building official, I believe most of the items as per the resolution have been met. So as soon as everything is finalized, this is a matching loan. True Star, does a matching amount that we do, or more. In this case, I may or may not be more, but then we would release these funds to True Star, and then True Star, pays us on a monthly basis upon the payments. So things are, falling into place as far as all the requirements of the loan program.
Excellent. So at this time, if there's no questions for the business owner, Chair would entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
So move.
We have a motion by Councillor Buller. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Taylor. Discussion? Thank you, because I think housing is an issue that we have. So
Absolutely.
I
Thank you so much,
do
guys.
agree. Oh, you're not done yet. We haven't voted.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just like that too, that this is the second time someone's come looking for a loan like this, which I think is good. That's what it's meant for. Like I said, we need housing. They're both downstairs on top of
Yeah.
old buildings to be able to also provide housing and some history kept around.
And that's one of the things too. I think this is one of the most underutilized options that we have in the community, and it can be used for a whole plethora of things, not just complete renovation like what you're looking at doing, but for signs, for upkeep, for siding, anything that adds value to your building, your property, which adds value to the community as well. So I greatly appreciate you looking at housing, and B, utilizing the program.
Well, I'll be utilizing it a lot more considering the interest rates, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, you have to pay off the first one first. All right. So we have a motion and a second. We'll call the question.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have a facilities use agreement between the City of International Falls and Independent School 361. This is kind of in correlation with the Rec Commission being dissolved and what we're going to be taking part of. If you've had a chance to go through this, did this go through Public Works? Is this where this originated, or is this just coming to council from the two entities?
Just come to council.
Council? Okay. All right. So the chair would entertain a motion to approve the user agreement or use agreement.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Councilor Buller. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilor Kaler. Discussion? City Administrator, do you have anything to highlight in this?
Well, I guess I'm going to ask. I see Attorney Nelson's online. Her and Kevin Grover from the school district have been working closely on this, along with Ted Roca, the Director of Public Works, making sure that we didn't miss anything in this with our city-owned facilities versus school-owned properties and who's in responsible. So, Chelsea, would you be able to chime in on your works with Kevin Grover on this item?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I did work with Kevin Grover and Ted Brokaw on getting all of this coordinated. It does cover all of the city parks or facilities that are going to be used, including what we call the Cary Park Complex, which is the two ball fields along with the arena, and I believe there's Rizzo and Haller. We're all included in that for school use, and basically it's not just the school, but anything. Basically, the school is going to be with the athletics director is going to handle everything. What we talked about was getting kind of an online live schedule so that Betty, Ted, and Kevin and Tim Ringhofer, who's going to be the athletics director, can all access it. It includes some lead time for Ted to get notice to get things ready. It doesn't take effect until July 1st, and it is a one-year contract, so it's kind of our first go at it. We'll see how it works this year, and what works well will stay, and if we have to tweak things, we'll tweak them.
Excellent. Any questions for the city attorney? Any questions, period?
Yeah,
Please.
I do. So it outlines the city's fields and things and equipment that we have, and then I see it's a non-fee agreement.
Correct.
So we're not going to charge for ice time or any of that stuff, or is that not part of this?
I think, and thank you, Brett, for that, but I would, this doesn't include like separate organizations like rec hockey or
I understand.
figure skating like that.
I understand that, but
So, just to backtrack just a little bit on this.
Yeah.
So, as we were having the conversations with the school district on these joint participation projects like we had with the Rec Commission, there has been, the Rec Commission has did all the upkeep on this, and I think we wanted to have time to find out what the true cost is for the city to maintain these. So the first year being a 1-year agreement, we're not putting any of that in, but we're going to be tracking the time and how much we're putting into that. Is that accurate, Ted? Please, I knew you were going to have to make it up at some point.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The user agreement that we're looking at covers the liability side of things. We understand that there is going to be a cost. It is when the school athletic activities director schedules, it's basically covering the liability for our properties. Now, we've discussed adult league softball. Okay, what we need to do is come up with if community ed, the activities director is scheduling softball to adult league softball, there's a cost to that. We haven't broke out how much the city may get for maintaining the fields versus what it costs to schedule versus what it costs for the umps. This is basically giving the school permission to use the facilities. The one thing is when we mention the hockey side of it is, the city's still going to have a separate agreement with Falls Recreation Hockey. This basically covers that if the school wants to use Cary Park for a JV game, or it covers us for the liability side of it. We agree that they can use our facilities, and they're putting up the proof that they're covered by insurance, whatever they schedule on those properties. The fees and whatnot are going to come afterwards.
Okay.
If that answers your question, that's,
Yep.
And we had looked at trying to go through and do each individual, what it was going to cost, and basically it came down to a user agreement to be able to use the city facilities and be covered liability-wise. So unless Chelsea wants to share more, but that's what this agreement covers. Okay.
Chelsea, do you have anything to add?
I don't, unless there was a question that I didn't hear.
There was not a question you did not hear. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any additional questions or concerns? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Consider a resolution for approving a permit for a 1 to 4 day temporary on-sale liquor license for July 1st, 2023 for a concert at the amphitheater located at 360 Highway 11 East. Chair would entertain a motion for that liquor license.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion by Councillor Wagner,
Second.
second by Councillor Holden. Discussion? Just a reminder to everybody that concert is the Strolling Clones, a Rolling Stones cover band, 100% free to the residents of International Falls and Couchiching County. So, what?
I was also informed today that they have picked up another band that's going to be playing for the 2 hours prior to that. But I don't know all the details, but Lois just shared that with me today, so there'll be 2 of them.
You know, we have so much stuff going on the 4th of July weekend, from the 1st to the 4th, right here in International Falls.
I'm thinking we're going to have our first meeting in July, like on Thursday, the 5th. Or the 6th.
It's gonna have to push out.
Who wants to interrupt all that good time with a meeting on?
I'm telling you, we're putting it on the schedule of events. 3rd of July City Council meeting.
Just a thought.
Wow, I hate to say it, but there will be one of our next item is the beer gardens for the 3rd of July. So it is what it is.
Oh, so interesting. What a coincidence that I'm thinking we should move our third meeting to the 5th.
You know what? That is the most ridiculous thing ever, and I think I'm willing to go along with it. So you just wait for that.
Well,
Okay, so we have a motion and a second for the
that's
liquor
up to you.
license.
I'm going to both either way.
Fair enough. I'm going to add that under any other business, and that's a real conversation that we might be having. Okay, so we have a 1 to 4 day liquor license. We have a motion and a second for the 1st of July. Call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, we have a resolution approving an application and permit for a 1 to 4 day temporary liquor license for Rotary on the 3rd from 3rd and 4th, 2023 for the 4th of July celebration in Smoky Bear Park. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that license.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Councillor Buller.
Second.
We have a second by Councillor Holden.
It's been a while.
I've been getting better. I remembered. I knew who you were. So we have a motion and second, and on the 3rd of July, we'll be having the Dirty Vandals playing in Smoky Bear Park. Which it could be the Dirty Vandals having a meeting in Smoky Bear Park right after the Dirty Vandals play. So, all right, so we have a motion and second. We'll call the question.
Aye.
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 And I will vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Acknowledge and approve purchase of an enclosed trailer for the hazmat team with funds to be reimbursed through the state of Minnesota hazmat contract. Chief, do you want to come up and discuss that one with us?
Thank you, Mayor. As you know, our contract year for the hazmat team comes to an end on June 30th. So we do have some money left to expend. We're being a little proactive, buying an enclosed trailer. They're looking at typing the teams, meaning we'll have a type 1, 2, and 3 team. We would fall into a type 3 team with a smaller truck instead of that great big long 35-foot crew cab semi, basically. So we're being a little bit proactive. We're going to use our unexpended funds at this time to purchase an enclosed trailer and get rid of that large truck in anticipation of receiving a smaller one in the next year or two. So we did talk to the state. They are in approval of that. Any funds that would be unused at the end of June would be returned to the state, which would have to be redistributed to the other teams, and quite frankly is a little bit of a headache. So they'd rather see us spend the money than not spend the money, and that's where we're at. So
Just a question out of, if we get rid of the large trailer that we have, does it just go back to the state? It's not like those funds come back to the city, it just goes to the state?
correct. So the truck that I am referencing was given to us by the state when we took on the team, so it goes back to the state.
Okay.
We would have the option of purchasing that truck at a trade-in value, which we don't have a use for, so I would not be entertaining that option at all.
Fair enough.
They will take it back and I believe auction it or redistribute it somehow through their system.
Excellent. So before us right now, we have the purchase of an enclosed trailer. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Councillor Kaler. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councillor Wegner. Discussion,
Mr. Mayor?
please.
So when we do get this trailer, is there going to be funding available for a vehicle to pull it with then too in the future, or before you get rid of the old?
We can pull it with the vehicle that I drive or our grass rigger 550 dually. So either vehicle we can pull it with.
Okay, so if you do get rid of that other one, you've got time to
Yep.
acquire another one for it then?
Well, we're set up and ready to go, yep.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Next, approve a law enforcement mutual aid agreement with St. Louis County Sheriff's Office. Chair would entertain a motion for that mutual aid agreement.
So move.
We have a motion by Councillor Buller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councillor Holden. I didn't even forget that time, I just paused. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, authorize execution of the Minnesota Department of Transportation Airport Maintenance and Operations Grant Contract. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that contract.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Councillor Holden. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Buller. Discussion?
Yeah, I just have, is this like a grant just in case we have to do some upgrades or stuff, or is this money already spoken for, which means we're gonna have to come up with whatever the 25% is that we'll be obligated to? Or is this just a pot of money to,
As I understand this one specifically, this would be funds that are used for maintenance. This is what we use our 20% or whatever,
Yeah.
and then we get the rest, and that provides our maintenance for the facility.
all right, I just was
Yeah.
making sure it wasn't one of those grants, but never.
Then we have to
comes
come up with more money.
Yeah. All right, that's all I had. And
Okay.
I thought that's what it was. Thanks.
So it doesn't do that, what he's saying.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, this is they'll pay for, yeah.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, we go to discuss order for demolition, 1101 9th Street. City Attorney.
Sorry. So the demolition, I'm just going to turn it over to Jared here in a minute. So this is a house that hasn't had heat over the winter and maybe has some other damage. It's a rental that hasn't also been in compliance and with the rental licensing. So I'm bringing it to the council to see if we want to go ahead and get it in order before the council to have it torn down, or if there's some other route that you want to discuss. But I'll turn it over to Jared so he can kind of explain the status of the house.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the house we're talking about is 1101 9th Street. In January, we were notified that there wasn't any water in the house, and there hadn't been for a significant amount of time. Myself and the building official were able to get into the property, and when we were in there, we realized before we went in, the gas had been tagged out since 2019, so there wasn't any natural gas to the house, and it was being heated with space heaters. There's holes in the floors, the plumbing was duct taped, the sewer was plugged, the water from the shower is just draining into the crawl space. It's, you know, by looking at it from the outside, it doesn't look like, you know, it's a bad place, but when you get inside, there's a lot of things that need to be corrected. At that time, we wrote the landlord a letter, that was in January, I think it's in your packets, and told her we gave her time to come up with a plan to get back to us, to get things moving forward. Since then, it's been a never-ending problem. The tenant is supposed to have moved out. We've been there with the police multiple times. He's cutting the screens, climbing in through the windows, cutting the locks, still living there. There was about a dozen cats there at one time. We have since, you know, got that taken care of. Chelsea asked me to write another letter on May 15th, giving the landlord 2 weeks to come up with a plan to get the house issues corrected, and we've had no contact with myself, Chelsea, or the building official. And it's just getting to the point where we need to do something. The neighbors are calling when he's climbing through the window with a ladder. The landlord hasn't made any attempts to correct the issue, so there's a lot of money that needs to be put into the house to get it compliant. And we just need to move forward, because, I mean, we can't continue, you know, going there every couple days, seeing what's happening and having complaints through the neighboring properties.
So I respect everything you just said. I completely understand that the house is in disarray and it is not habitable. It should be uninhabitable. My question is, if the landlord has not bought into the rental licensing, and we're going there because the home is, what is this the best recourse to tear down the home and start going down that route, or is it to take the conversation that she has to, or whoever, I don't know, it's a man or woman, Borderland Rentals has to find a place for this person to live because the house is not deemed for, I mean, I want to make sure we're not jumping the gun here, but I also realize we can't have someone in that house in the condition that it's in.
So when this happened back in January, the tenant had somewhere else to go. He went to a neighboring property where he stays off and on to this day. At first, she offered to help him and he refused it. And now we kind of haven't had any conversations about that, but we haven't been able to catch him, but apparently he set up housing in the garage next door. And he's living in the garage when he's not at the house on A Street.
But what is, so then my question again is, and this isn't necessarily on you, but if he's in a house on 8th Street, that has nothing to do with this house here. I mean, the two are both problems, but they don't seem to be, they're correlated, but they're not the same.
Well, this house it has many violations that need to be addressed.
Yep.
And she's had 6 months, the landlord's had 6 months to get it into compliance and it hasn't got there. We're having continued problems with the property, between garbage and that kind of stuff. And if she's not gonna be willing to fix it, it's just gonna deteriorate farther.
100%.
And we need to make a decision on how we want to go about it.
Okay.
The property is currently condemned. It has been since January.
Okay. And Chelsea, if you could help me understand, is this the next one that makes sense, or should we, I just want to make sure that we're not jumping the gun. This one seems a little bit different to me, but now hearing that it has been condemned for 6 months, that kind of changes it a little bit.
So basically, we've done pretty much everything we can aside from going to the demolition order. She's been assessed for not having it rentally licensed. The person that's been going in there has been trespassed. We've done all those steps. I mean, we could continue to do them, and they may make a difference, but they may not. So that's why we brought it to the council to see if they want us, what sort of timeline do we look at for something like this before we say, okay, we just need to tear it down.
Fair enough. And then this would be assessed to the business owner, right? To the property owner.
Correct.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Anyone else have questions?
My thing is that I think you've probably done all you can do without any results being shown, not even an attempt to do anything.
And that's why we brought it here, because it's like, how much time and effort do we put into this place? I mean, it's been a struggle. I mean, there's a lot more that we could talk about, but it's probably not necessary.
This is either going to spark some interest in them to fix it, or it's just going to be demoed.
Well, and that's the thing that gets me. If we make this order, it's happening. I don't think we're gonna backtrack on it. But they have other properties?
Yeah, they have roughly 16 properties.
And are the other ones in as dire of shape?
Yes.
So are the other any of them condemned or?
We don't have any of them condemned, but they are vacant. Nobody's living in them.
Okay.
So this one, like I said, is still being lived in. I mean, it's not supposed to be, but they still are getting into the property and staying there when they shouldn't be.
So then my other question is, every other time that we've had a demolition on a property, it has to be cleaned out and stuff. I mean, is that something that we would have our contractor go in and take all that stuff out?
Yeah, we would give them to a certain date to have it cleaned out. If it's not cleaned out at that time, we would hire a contractor to go in and clean it out, and that would be also assessed back to the property.
Excellent. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Walt. That was good. All right. We don't have a motion in a second. Chair,
I'll make the motion.
Okay. We have a motion to tear down the house and assess it to the homeowner.
Right.
Okay. We have a motion by Councilor Holden. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilor Kaler. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
Next, we have some land use and legislation recommendations. The first would be to consider the first reading of an ordinance for mutual or municipal garbage collection. So I want to give a little briefing on this one because this is a little bit different. This isn't the order we have historically done this. However, we want to do this in a different order because it allows residents to actually have a conversation with us that we can put the information in and assess what they have to say to put it into the final structure. One of the things that has come to land use and legislation is the garbage service. Garbage has been an issue with the fire marshal from the rental portions. There's lots of rentals that are filling up their garages with garbage. We do not have, we have a city ordinance that says that you have to have garbage service, but it doesn't require that it is picked up at the house. You can take it there. So one of the things that we've looked at is having a municipal garbage collection. We've had a handful of meetings about that specifically at the land use and legislation. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, I think it was, myself, Councilor Wegner, the city administrator, the city attorney, and the fire marshal all sat down and we went through to get to this garbage collection ordinance. We're asking for the first reading of the ordinance today. We want to have public input at our committee of the whole meeting, which will be next week. With that, we'll take that information, we will put the information that, and listen to what people have to say, and then we'll write the information for the second reading, and that will be what is posted 10 days before we have our second reading. Historically, the way we have done this is we have our first reading at one city council meeting, and then we have the second reading and a public hearing at the next city council meeting. Well, it's really hard to take public comment and be able to listen to what the residents have to say and put that in if you're meeting 20 minutes later to approve that. So we are going to have, we're asking for the first reading right now, have a public hearing at our committee of the whole, which is later in the afternoon, give opportunity for people to come and discuss the garbage with us, and then have the second reading at our July 3rd meeting, which would be in July, so we can move forward with this. It's a lot of rambling from me. I would love to hand off to Councilor Wegner with his thoughts on it, since he sat through those with me.
I would just say this is a great step forward. But look through this, because this is a redone document that we worked on, but, you know, make sure everyone looks through it. And I think with the committee of the whole meeting where we have some residents that can let us know how they feel about it, but I think it's a great step forward, especially the recycling part. Jared's done a lot of work on it.
Yeah, and Jared, could you just come and give some of the positives that can come out of this and some of the negatives that you're seeing right now? And not to put you on the spot, but
Yeah.
you're dressed for the meeting, so.
Yeah, other than garages full of garbage.
Thanks, Mayor, Council. So one of the things that I'm dealing with, not only on a rental licensing side, but as a community as a whole, is garbage. And one of the problems we're running into is, yes, our ordinance says that you have to have your garbage dumped weekly or brought to the transfer station weekly, but it's not happening. So we're running into a lot of properties, garages, sheds, basements, whole houses that are full of garbage. And it's just becoming a problem. We've been getting a lot of complaints on smells, rodents, animals. And it's just something that other communities do. And it just simplifies the process of getting rid of your garbage. It's put your can, have it picked up once a week. It makes sense. There's probably still going to be problems with certain people, but at least we have the ability right there for them to get rid of their garbage. The last couple of weeks we spent a lot of time with situations like this. And I mean, we dealt with a property that had garbage in it from 2014. And it's pretty frustrating. It's tough to go into those situations and have people living in them. So as a city, as a council, in my role, I think it just makes things easier for a lot of people, to not have to worry about it if they have that can available to put their garbage in. There's the ability to bring recycling back to the community with municipal garbage service. That we've been getting a lot of calls on. The dumpsters around town that the county provides can't keep up, and a lot of people have just went to putting the recyclables back into the garbage. So hopefully with this we can get some community input and move in the right direction to just kind of make it easier for everybody, neighbors and residents that have dealt with this in the past.
Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
City Attorney, do you have anything to add on this?
I don't, just to kind of highlight parts of the ordinance. It would function kind of like city water, city sewer, so if they didn't pay, we would be able to assess it back. And, it just has a standard schedule where you put it out at 6 p.m. the day before, you pick it up at 6 p.m. the night of. So just kind of read through it. We did make some tweaks to it, but overall, I think we reached a consensus at Land Use and Legislation that this is a good version.
Okay, thank you. So we have this before us for the first reading. Again, the reason that we're doing it this way is, we want to be able to get public input. This is not the final version. It may be the final version. However, this is what we have. We want to have the first reading, bring it to a public hearing, allow people to come in and voice their opinion, put that into a final document that we could utilize and move forward on July 3rd. So Chair would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Oh, that was really quick. Didn't expect that. I lost my paperwork. I didn't expect you to be that quick. All right, we have a motion by Councillor Holden. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Wegner. Discussion?
I just like that, this is something I like that we're taking our time, but there's a good chance it's going to be even longer than we have read out here. I mean, we read it once and we can read it this second time, whatever, because this is one of those things that I think maybe we might have an audience.
I'm fairly certain.
Yeah.
And that was part of it too. So historically, we've done the hearings at a council meeting, which draws out this long council meeting, and it becomes so formal because it's in the council chambers. We're sitting up here to have people come up. Being in a committee of the whole meeting, it's the same thing, but it's a little bit different because it's a committee of the whole. It doesn't necessarily, it's not going to be recorded, be on KCCTV. It could be, however, it's a different setting to be able to have people be more frank with us. Please.
Mayor, and I'll just add, there's a lot of people that are doing the right thing and getting rid of their garbage.
Yes.
This isn't a penalty to them. They're just going to be paying differently.
Right.
It's the ones that don't have it that they're going to feel like it's a penalty to them because that's an additional $30 a month that they have to pay.
Yes.
But it shouldn't, I don't think, our local residents that are doing the right thing or our businesses are going to fight it that much because they're already paying for it. They already have it. They're just going to be paying the city rather than the garbage provider. So the one I think that we're gonna get pushback from is the ones that are doing it themselves, you know, weekly, or the ones that don't have it, so.
That's a really good point. That's a really, really good point.
I
Please.
think you can't look at it that way. If you look at it realistically, I take my garbage down there myself. Okay, but for $30 a month, how many trips can I make to the transfer station and back in a month?
Yeah.
Can't even make 3, then give me punch your ticket yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're gonna be money ahead by having your garbage picked up for $30 a month.
And that's exactly what I was saying, what you're talking about. They're the ones, they're not letting it accumulate, but they're doing it themselves for whatever reason you have. And that's the ones we're gonna have to convince that you're still better off.
And I think that, you know, being a municipal service, I mean, our costs might come down, and it might, you know, a dump ticket is $23 now, I think, roughly $23. I mean, if you get weekly service for $30 a month, you know, it seems, or less, you're in a, plus recycling, I think you're in pretty good shape.
We'll see how this plays out. I like the move. I like the conversation. I like bringing it to people to have the real conversation so we can listen to amend the ordinance if necessary. All right, we have a motion and a second. We'll call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have a itinerant license request for Les Delicious La de Baguette. Bake of the North is what he goes by.
Is this your people in your?
This is the bakery shop that's been coming to the library every Saturday.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make sure they were doing the right thing, so they got a license.
And I've heard nothing but good things about their,
Yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised. This was a resident brought us the information at the restaurant, said to reach out to them. They do baked goods, and they've just been setting up one day a week, and they've been selling really, really well. All fresh baked in Baudette and brought over. So, Chair would entertain a motion to approve that license.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Councilor Wegner. Second.
I'll second.
Second by Councilor Kaler. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I will vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. Any other business? Anybody want to move the 3rd of July, please?
You know, your new agenda's got the addition of the resolution.
Oh, man. Okay, I already know what it is.
You should remember it's known as yours.
Yeah, I know. Approve the resolution approving the city administrator to file an application with Minnesota Management and Budget for a 2024 capital budget request for the Cary Park Health and Wellness Center. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Councilor Kaler. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Wegner. City Administrator, you want to give a little bit of background of how this one came up? Or do you want me to?
Go ahead, Mayor.
So we were awarded $1 million for the Cary Park project for design and engineering. With that being said, we've been asked to seek additional funds for next year for the build. With that, it has to be at the state by the 16th of this month, needing this resolution. So that's why it's here. There's going to be plenty of time to update stuff. We did speak today, myself and the city administrator, to the lobbyist that's been working on our behalf. It sounds like it makes the most sense to put this into phases, which it was initially planned through Kraus Anderson to go into phases. And we have been, we're going to look for additional funds next year, somewhere between the number of $7 and $9 million for the Cary Park project to finish one part of the phase and continue going back. So that is where we're at on that. So we have a motion and a second. Any questions,
Did we
please?
actually receive that 1 million for design, or did they pull that at the end?
It was pulled, and then at the last minute, it got back in.
Okay, the last thing I heard, it was pulled, so thank you.
Yes, it was. That was a wild week.
Yeah.
So
And I'd just like to reiterate, we're just asking for money. We haven't gotten any money. We're not building anything yet.
yeah, the monies that the 1 million is for design and
Right,
engineering, so that is where nothing is being built. However, if we get the next one, if we are able to get funding for the next project, then we would be billed.
Right.
2025 then.
Could be as soon as 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could do it next year, as long as we're putting it in now.
Just so everybody realizes
Right.
that we're
Well,
not building a,
And I think.
to maybe answer some questions ahead of time.
Yeah, and I think that that's the key to this whole thing. We haven't put any funds into this project. We have hired a lobbyist, but the lobbyist has worked on both this project, on our ambulance situation, on lead water lines. I mean, they're working on a lot of projects for International Falls. This just happens to be one of them. And secondly, we're very clear, we don't have the additional funds to do this. There is monies that have been set to recreation, but those funds are for the upkeep of what we have right now. So it's, we're trying to make sure that we have a facility for the future, because Cary Park is in very, very dire shape, and there's not funds to upgrade that. So, all right, we have a motion and a second. Any other conversation? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Next, under any other business, it wouldn't work anyways. I was thinking we could move our meeting over to Smoky Bear Park and bring our meeting to the public, but there's already a band playing at 5 o'clock that day. But that would have been so much fun.
All right, so we're back to moving the meeting to the 6th on Thursday.
I don't feel it. But it's such a good
You might
idea.
not feel it, and you might not see me, but that's all right. You'll be fine without me.
All right, you could zoom in from across the street.
Yes.
I don't know if I want that. All right, we have anything under new business, or any other business?
Are we still
Please.
talking about the July meeting, or?
Yeah, we're not doing that.
I vote for the 6th.
For real? Do you want to move the meeting? Honest to God, if you guys do, I'm fine with that.
I just think for a lot of reasons, but I mean, I'm joking. I mean, I'll come here on the 3rd.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd say move it.
I thought maybe you guys went serious on me. I wasn't sure.
Well, if it was consensus, I'd have no problem with it. Because some people may be gone.
Let's not mess up the
The holiday.
Status quo.
no.
Festivities.
Yeah, okay, I may,
That way we can handle it.
why don't you ask for a motion?
All right.
gonna
So
ask for a motion,
Thursday,
are they?
Thursday the 6th?
Yes.
At the end of the year, just ask for something on the 3rd.
Yeah, you did.
I can point that out on my report.
I think engineer works for us.
I think he does too.
Yeah, I think he does too.
All right.
You want to come here during?
City Administrator, would you have an issue with moving to the 6th?
You can say yes, Betty. I see the look on your face.
She wanted to get out of town.
All right, we'll just have it on
I
the
don't
3rd.
know personally, I would rather leave it right where it's at and be consistent with our meeting dates and times.
Wow, that was the most
Opinion.
political answer ever. That was wonderful.
3rd it is.
3rd it is. Excellent.
We're going with the 3rd.
Yeah.
Wow, that was good.
To the 3rd.
All right, we'll have another opportunity to change this meeting next meeting.
How about next meeting?
We got an IFEDA, don't we?
Yes, we gotta change
On the next meeting.
our 19th meeting.
20th.
Yes.
At-
Okay.
At 2:00.
So the chair would entertain a motion to move our meeting for the 19th to the 20th
I'll move.
at 2:00. Excellent. Chair would entertain a motion we have a motion for 2:00 on the 20th?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion for 2:00 on the 20th. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. We have a motion and second to have our next meeting on June 20th at 2:00. Call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes, motion carries 5-0. Any other meeting times we need to change? No? All right. Maybe we'll change one at the next meeting. All right, we'll go to reports of the administrator, attorney, and department heads. City administrator.
Mayor and council, I have nothing additional this evening. Thank you.
Okay, city attorney?
Just adding that the reason I am not there is I overcommitted, so I apologize for not being there. I thought I was running T-ball on Wednesdays because it was just Wednesdays. I found out at about 4:45 it is Mondays and Wednesdays. But next week for the committee as a whole, I will be much more prepared.
Excellent.
Nothing's more important than T-ball.
Yeah. How are the fields looking?
So I am actually at T-ball in Little Fork.
Oh. Caught is caught. Wow.
When I signed up, I was a Little Fork resident, though.
Well, have fun.
All right.
God bless you.
This is unexcused absence.
I think so.
All right. We'll go to department heads. Nah.
Oh, he's got a list.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to give you an update on City Beach. They'll be mobilizing this week, hauling in material, resetting the playground border, and hauling out the contaminated certified wood chips. The week is the 12th. They'll be placing new sand, renourishing the beach, grading. The week of the 19th, they'll be bringing in the certified wood mulch for the playground, final cleanup, and they should be out of there by the end of that week. Then from there, they go to the water plant. The week of the 24th, remove the berm, and they should be done with that project with the final seeding by the 7th, the week of the August 7th. So we
So you
should
should
have.
be able to tell people they'll be swimming about the 19th of
Well,
June.
that'll be the start of that week, so it'll be the end of that week, so,
Okay.
yep.
Excellent.
And then you'll have the sign up that says swim at your own risk.
We've already got the
Already
signs
got that
up.
out there? Okay.
Well, staff has been there for the last week and a half cleaning up trees and whatnot.
Okay.
The bathhouse is all ready to go. We did a sewer line repair last week, so we've been doing a lot of work out there.
Good.
I apologize for not being open, but usually it's not this warm out this time of year. Usually,
Yeah.
usually we're just getting going. So if people would be patient with us for a couple more weeks,
Okay.
3 weeks, we will hopefully be bigger and better. So
Well, and part of this too was road limits, right? We couldn't get anything.
we were hoping to get a lot of the work done before the road limits went on.
Okay.
And it all happened at once, so we had a delay there in just getting going, so.
Excellent. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, do you have anything?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Jared? Commissioner Roach, welcome. Thank you for coming to our meeting. Greatly appreciate it. Do you have anything you want to talk to us about?
No,
Okay.
Well, we appreciate you coming. I really appreciate you staying. I mean, you could have just been here for the last meeting for your business, but sticking around, I really appreciate that. To hear what we have going on, and I got to make some of yours.
I'm to see what's happening at the city council, that's all.
I love that. Thank you. Reports of the mayor, council committees, boards and commissions. Any committees or commission reports?
Just that it's the second Thursday of the month already. So that means somebody's on the radio, and if that's gonna be me, that's fine. I talked to Betty and we thought me or whoever would talk about the upcoming 4th of July festivities, mention what's going on with the park, with the movies and the music and the people that have stepped up to support it. And we do have, and spread the message, we do have good things going on.
We do have a lot of good things going on.
You know, and it isn't all.
I
Like I was told on my walk one day, basically I'm surprised the town's still here, 2 weeks from that visit, but we are.
Oh, wow.
Well, pretty much, you should listen to it. Yeah, we're going on the tubes.
I would love to go on with you. I would be able to do that.
8:30.
8:30, I can do it.
When?
Thursday.
That's Thursday, second Thursday, okay.
Kind of interesting that you had mentioned some of those items. So 4th of July is still meeting. Now we're in our ramp up. So we are meeting every Wednesday from here until the 4th of July. Again, we have a lot of stuff going on. 1st of July, we have a concert at the amphitheater. 2nd of July, we have a kids fun run down the Blue Ox Trail, a movie at Cary Park, and a family camp out, whether you choose to camp out in your backyard, or we're going to be meeting over there to find out where people can camp out at Cary Park. There will be kids karaoke. 3rd of July, festivities in the park. We have some additional things being set up in the park this year that I think families and kids are going to really enjoy. We have a local resident that is coming back home with his band, the Dirty Vandals. Mike Torgeson is going to be coming from Indianapolis and the Chicago area, where his band plays quite frequently, and opening for some neat headliners. So very excited to have him up. We have the 4th of July, we have a couple of changes of some stuff that we're doing, not anything major, but that information is going to be coming out very, very soon. Should be a really, really, really good 4th of July celebration this year. And I say this with a little tongue in cheek. This year's going to be really good, but next year might be a lot worse because the 4th of July is on a Wednesday. So it makes it really difficult to plan a Wednesday 4th of July. So we're having a big blowout this year, taking a year off, and then maybe we'll do it again. So we have that going on. The concerts in the park started this last Wednesday. The school had theirs. This week, I don't remember who we have playing, but we do have another band playing on in the band shell at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. This Friday is our very first movie in the park. It's going to be Super Hero Pets, and it's being sponsored by the Humane Society. So Borderland Humane Society, we're going to be having a movie every Friday between now and the 7th of August. All free. Different sponsors have stepped up to be able to let us do that in the community. We have some really good stuff going on. So thank you for pointing that out.
You're going to have to condense that a little bit if you want Pete to talk on Thursday. Because that was a pretty long speech to put on the radio.
Yeah,
we don't have to listen.
You might want
We don't have to listen now.
You think I should pre-record it?
Oh, make sure you give Pete time to talk.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about that. We'll try and get some 4th of July info out there, depending on how the whole thing starts.
It's gonna be great.
That's why I need some help.
Well, the thing of it is we have so much good stuff. It's hard to condense it into a little ball.
And don't forget, and what we just found out tonight, if it's too hot for you, they need a break on the 3rd, come over here at 5:30, get some
Air conditioning.
Yeah.
I have to say, this is my favorite city council I've ever sat on. This is the best. Okay, so we have that stuff going on. Anything from audience? Don't have anybody there.
I got a
Oh.
board and commissions. I'd like to say,
Whoa.
I got to go to a KEDA meeting, and it was very informative, as a guest.
Yes, absolutely.
They're doing a lot of good stuff there, so it was good to go to. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the things too. We're all welcome to go to any of our other meetings, just to be able to learn what's going on the other stuff, so. I mean, it would have been nice at that KEDA meeting to have a county representative there.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
But if they were told the right date.
Yeah.
That's why two of us missed it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's okay, I missed the airport meeting the next day.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
So, all right, anything else to come before? Audience? Nothing from audience? Our next city council meeting will be on Tuesday, June 20th at 2 o'clock, right?
Yep.
Thank you. You have correspondence from the Housing and Redevelopment Authority meeting, Visitors and Convention Bureau meeting, and International Falls Recreation Commission. Our next meeting is going to be on June 20th at 2. This meeting is adjourned.